This is how we went from this to this. All through the power of feed, supplements, and trusting the process. What she was getting was straight up 2.5 pounds of Lindner 685. My thought process to this was, maybe just was reading a nickel tight as you study her off of her rear too, and was just trying to kind of let her mellow herself out. Good friend of ours, James Backman from Lindner Feed, stopped by and made some suggestions on feed changes that flat out hit a home run. Here's what we ended up doing. 1 pound of Lindner 632, 1 pound of Lindner 611, and 1 pound of Lindner 685, along with 2 scoops of Optawise. And then 4 days out the show, we started our infusion of All In. By doing this combination, we saw an immediate impact in terms of bulk on a muscularity component, mass in terms of her center body skeleton, and then the Optawise came in and knocked it out of the park by loosening up her rear too and just allowing her to float as you study her in motion. The All In, that just does a tremendous job in terms of bringing a smooth, eye-appealing appearance, as well as making a very soft and mellow forehead and lower sweep to her underline. Crew J drove this gilt in a Chester landrace division, ended up reserve in that division, 6th overall purebred gilt at the California Youth Expo. As we talk about her mobility issues, if you really draw your eyes in and truly focus just on how she maneuvers out of a rear hock, that view that you see on the video clip, she's just too choppy and too rigid, maybe robotic in terms of how she utilizes her 2 hock joints. Once we infused the 2 scoops of Optawise, man, that issue completely went away. She had the capability to pick her rear 2 up with so much ease and offers so much more flexibility, and just brought forth more of an athletic venue as you study her in the show ring. To jump back on the Lindner components and what we did to switch it up, the 685 does a tremendous job in just terms of letting that pig grow. Maybe doesn't put a ton of stuff in terms of muscularity and body. And those are the issues that James helped us kind of get our eyes on. As you got up high and really study her in terms of the upper part of her back, she had some shape and she had some width. But as soon as we switched over to the 611, 632, 685 combo, man, her blades pried open. She got so much more shape and dimension down the center part of her back. And then you pivoted off to the side and really was enamored with the outward turn and bold shape she had right there in her center cavity and cage. That combination did such a good job in terms of bringing forth her genetic potential in terms of how much mass she could offer on a muscularity and body component. A unique thing about Jade, the landrace gilt that Crew J showed, is we brought her out one time in the middle part of February and just let her sit in her pen. Honestly, this is a firm example of you just got to trust the process. We were just going to make her a sow. She had some very unique pieces, but maybe not show ring ready. And by doing those changes and bringing forth a tremendous amount of work and grit here in the barn, we finally got to drag her out the late part of July, early part of August. From the break, if you will, from February till then, and ultimately grab Crew J a banner. And we're extremely excited to see what she does in the breeding pens here at Datsun Farms.